All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and I have some more or less bad news. Our son is in the hospital with a bad lung infection. So I'm just now coming into the house after being in the hospital all day. So we're going to be playing tag uh, between myself and his mother, my wife, and just hoping for the best. You know what I mean? So, he's in there, he's getting the help that he needs, and he's breathing a lot better. But thank God. So tonight, we're not going to be on for too long. Um, The weather is here is raining like cats and dogs, and we have a very serious storm coming in. I forget the name of it, but it's going to hit Puerto Rico and us like it's doing now, and it's just a matter of time before it does devastating work throughout the Caribbean and hitting, I believe, uh, Florida for sure, but Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and going up from there. So hold your hats and make sure that you have battened down the hatches and everything will be okay, hopefully. But anyways, tonight I wanted to take over uh, and start with um, what I wrote to Trump today, matter of fact. So let's do that right quickly. And yeah, let me go and do that. Hold on. So let me do that first and then I'll be right back. So this is what I wrote to Trump today and Eric Trump. That it's a warning. Whether they heed the warning, whether President Trump reads it, Eric Trump reads it, it's making its rounds, I guess. It has a lot of, not a lot, the way that I would want. It has 15 views. Um, so we'll see what happens. And I want to read that to you right now. It says, Dear Mr. President, it's not often that I write to you and pray that all is well with your health and family and that shalom may be upon you as this world changes. With that being said, Mr. President, my soul and my ancestors are writing these words to you in hopes of having um, you to see them and to act on them as if your life and the lives of every citizen in the USA and world are depending on them, and they are. According to the vid, and this is the video that I sent to you about the African Union headquarters being uh, attacked. This is a declaration of war. Whoever the fuck did it, and from what I'm understanding, Walter from the Ivory Coast, that bitch ass nigga, been always count on a motherfucker being a punk ass bitch for a white boy who is a gay boy that got a gay husband. Macron, believe me, that motherfucker is done, and he's gonna be eliminated, and that is treason against the continent of Africa as it is forming and had formed the United States of Africa. And believe me, France is right there in the crosshair. So let me finish that. According to the vid, there was a recent attack made on the AU headquarters in Africa that is tantamount to a declaration of war on the new United States of Africa, a continent that has fed the growth of political and economic power of the West, global wealth and control. Mr. President, it is apparent and has been a fact that Europe and the USA, the West, or whites, as they are better known, can never stand on its own two feet without the aid and resources of Africa. The old saying, if you can't beat them, join them, is of the most importance as this is being written, and that delay in helping rather than covertly or overtly trying to delay the inevitable present and future dominance of the global South. Rise to dominate the planet with Afro gold is totally asinine and bespeaks of America's and Europe's hegemony, I like to say hegemony, ending instead of rising with Africa. On February 26, 2026, the one African government will commence, and all of hell will spill out upon the world for all the harm done to it over the centuries by Europe and Africa and America that will be and must be considered vengeance. Believe me or not, Mr. President Trump, USA is in no way economically or politically can be considered a sovereign nation. Although I read what Barron Trump wrote about our supposed ending of the elite banking heist of the 1870s, and that you may well be the 19th president of the United States after Ulysses S. Grant, I am finding it hard to believe that all of what you are doing is contrary to this. Africa, Mr. President, has all the right to do with it, have all the right to do with its resources what it wants to do. And since USA runs on 80%, 80 fucking percent from the sources of Africa, it would behoove you to deal fairly and squarely with Mama Africa and pay the fair price for what's needed. Mr. President, Africa does not need USA nor Europe, but USA and Europe need Mama Africa. At this time and in this juncture in history, America is facing and will face a devastating event or events that will forever change the physical and geopolitical sphere of influence she has held for the last 200 plus years. Mr. President, it is now time for America to pay for the sins of her past and to walk the holier path of redemption for her captives, the true house of Judah, the African American. This fact is no longer hidden, and it is intentionally lied about and covered up for fear of punishment. The punishment, Mr. President, cannot be stopped. It can only be endured by the people who refuse to accept their fate as the footstool of the real house of Judah is pronounced and made manifest to the world. President Trump, there are three things that cannot be hidden forever: the sun, the moon, and the truth. The so-called white people of America and around the world have been duped to believe they are the arbiters of civilization, when in fact it was black people who civilized white people three times. Once in Egypt, then in Rome, and now during and after black people ruled Europe and the world for almost 1,000 years after Spain in 1492. It is apparent that you people are woefully incapable of not only creating a civilization, which you have created none. It's very apparent you people, white people, don't have the mental capacity nor intelligence to keep it going. The only thing you people are good at is running things into the ground and say, oops. $38 trillion in debt, and now you want to run the soon-to-be greatest Ponzi scheme on the world by dumping all of the debt onto the stablecoin market on misinformed investors that will cause America to catch a cold, but the rest of the world gets pneumonia. Will be an economic disaster and a suicide for USA's integrity and will cause it to lose economic credibility. Africa, President Trump, will become the new queen of the economic world, and Mama Africa will not be playing. With 1.4 billion people on the continent and another 6.5 billion worldwide will force the West, white people, into poverty. For now, the West will have to and must pay in Afro gold, and the West doesn't have it. The global South, which are the brown-skinned people, that includes Russians. I know Russia not brown-skinned, but they're part of BRIC, will be the new UN, IMF, and World Bank. As a side note, it was Africa that got Europe and USA out of the economic trouble after World War II, and that all of the lies told about Mama Africa will be placed on the West's back where it belongs. President Trump, the death certificate has been signed, sealed, and delivered by the righteous hand of GD, or God. If you are a Jew, you know what that GD stands for, and cannot be undone. Justice will be visited upon the West for all of its evil deeds, even until this day. You people still believe you will be unscathed. The sons of the father and mother must be and will be delivered upon their children for all of eternity. The old saying, you reap what you sow, is in full effect. Mr. President, there will be catastrophe that will befall America from major earthquakes, the size of which you as president must attend to instead of the fake Israel by Netanyahu and their illegal gang. The Madrid Fault 1812, Mr. President, did 1,000,000 square miles of damage, and there are right now 15 nuclear power plants built right on top of it, or they are very close to it. Just imagine that happening today. It will shake the mental and tear the moral fabric of the USA to its core. Also, let's not forget in San Andreas Fault in California, they did 50,000 square miles of damage, and the eruption of Yellowstone and Seattle, Washington, Mount St. Helens will damn near bring an end to the USA. The only thing that will save it is our true American spirit. That I believe in wholeheartedly. Lastly, Mr. President, do the right thing. Take care of our nation's poor, vets, infrastructure, etc. And stop giving the fucking money away, you dumb bitch. Giving money to a nation of fake Jews. They're not fucking Jews. Stop saying it. They have no tie to the land, have no right to the land. That area of land is in a trust called the Waqf that our Moorish ancestors put in that trust for over 1,000 years ago. Because they knew you fake ass motherfucking pale skins are gonna do this shit. That's how insightful they are, or were, and still are. We know infrastructure, etc., and stop giving money to a nation of fake Jews. The illegal state of Israel that don't deserve a dime and pay reparations to the real Jews of the world, the true house of Judah, who are the African Americans that reside within America. Now, I don't explain this shit 1,001 fucking times. I'm tired of it. The house of Judah was totally black from Portugal, Spain, and the Middle East. There were no white motherfuckers there. Our ancestors did not like them motherfuckers at all and never mixed. They're converts, like your daughter, like your son-in-law, like Netanyahu. They have no ties to the 12 tribes of Israel at all. Let true liberty reign, President Trump, or face the devastating end of your presidency as a joke and the inevitable destruction of your family's name.